The $400 ticket sat smugly on my windshield as I wrestled my daughter's wheelchair from our moving truck. Parking violation, vehicle not within marked lines, it declared, signed with a flourish by Patricia Hensley, HOA president. She had no idea she'd just crossed a transportation infrastructure engineer. By the time I was done, Patricia's pristine home would be stranded at the end of a road to oblivion. My name is Nathan Cole, 41, a civil engineer with 15 years at the Department of Transportation, designing roads and public systems. My daughter, Sophie, is 12, sharp as a tack, and has used a wheelchair since a car accident claimed her mother's life and reshaped ours. We just moved to Blue Haven Estates, a gated lakeside community where my late wife grew up, to be near Sophie's grandparents. The moving truck had barely nudged over the faded driveway lines as I installed Sophie's new wheelchair lift, prioritizing her safety. That's when Patricia Hensley appeared, her polished appearance as sharp as her tone. "Excuse me," she said, though it sounded more like a command. "I'm Patricia Hensley, HOA president. You must be the new resident at 32 Lakeview Lane." "Nathan Cole, just settling in," I replied, wiping sweat from my brow. "I noticed your vehicle is improperly parked," she said, eyeing the truck's slight overlap. "I'm sorry, I was securing my daughter's equipment. Community rules don't bend for personal circumstances, Mr. Cole. All residents must maintain proper parking standards. I'll move it once the lift is set." "No need." She handed me the citation with a smug smile. $400 for the infraction and violating aesthetic guidelines. I stared, dumbfounded. $400 for a few inches during a move. "The fee schedule is in your HOA packet. You should have reviewed it." Sophie wheeled up, her face alight with excitement. "Dad, the backyard's perfect for a garden." Patricia's smile vanished as her gaze landed on the wheelchair. "Mr. Cole, I trust you'll store mobility devices discreetly to maintain neighborhood harmony." "My daughter's wheelchair isn't clutter," I said, voice tight. "HOA rules require medical equipment to be kept out of sight." Sophie's joy faded, her eyes dropping. She'd endured enough without this stranger branding her an eyesore. "It stays where Sophie needs it," I said firmly. "We'll see. Welcome to Blue Haven, Mr. Cole. I hope you'll respect our standards." That night, I called the HOA to dispute the ticket. The secretary, Mrs. Lynn, was apologetic. "I'm sorry, Mr. Cole. Patricia's been relentless about parking lately. $400 is steep for a first offense, but she sets the fines and chairs the appeals committee. So she issues tickets and judges her own appeals. I'm afraid so. She's intimidating. Be careful, she keeps files on everyone, every infraction, every complaint." Sounds like blackmail. I didn't say that, but watch your step. 2 days later, Patricia posted photos of my truck on the HOA bulletin board and neighborhood Facebook group, captioned, "New resident flouts community standards. Rules matter." The backlash was brutal. Strangers called me entitled and reckless. Worse were the comments about Sophie. "Arrogant dad thinks his disabled kid is above the rules. If they need special setups, they belong elsewhere." Sophie saw the posts and sobbed. "Dad, they say we don't belong." "They're wrong, Sophie. This is your home. Then why do they hate us?" I had no answer. How do you tell a 12-year-old that some adults thrive on cruelty? A week later, another $400 citation arrived for a repeat parking violation, though I'd parked perfectly while unloading groceries. A handwritten note was attached. "Mr. Cole, some families don't suit exclusive communities like Blue Haven. A more accommodating area might better fit your needs." It hit me. This wasn't about parking. Patricia wanted us gone because Sophie's disability clashed with her curated utopia. I resolved to confront her at the next HOA meeting, held in a grandiose clubhouse by the lake. About 20 residents attended, most looking bored. Patricia presided like a queen. When she opened the floor, I stood. "I'd like to address the citation system." "Mr. Cole," she cut in, "appeals must be submitted in writing." "I'm challenging the rule itself. Rule discussions are for board members only. As a homeowner, don't I have a voice? You may speak during resident commentary, if time allows." The meeting dragged on. When she finally reopened the floor, I stood again. "I'd like to speak." "Sorry, Mr. Cole, we're behind schedule. Input must wait until next month. You said this was the time." When time permits. Tonight, it doesn't. Are you silencing me? I asked as her hand hovered over the mic controls. I'm maintaining decorum. Two HOA security guards in polo shirts approached. Mr. Cole, comply, or we'll escort you out. As they led me away, Patricia called. I hope this shows how seriously we enforce regulations. The next morning, a note was taped to my driveway. You don't belong if rules are too hard. Some aren't Blue Haven material. PH. Then her campaign intensified. Day 1. A warning that Sophie's wheelchair was inappropriately stored in our garage, visible from the street. Day 2. A noise complaint claiming Sophie's therapy sessions violated quiet hours. Day 3. A citation for unauthorized modifications over our front ramp. Day 4. A fine for excessive medical deliveries when therapy equipment arrived. Day 5. An accusation that our home was a medical business because Sophie's therapist visited twice weekly. Each citation, $400. By week's end, Patricia had hit us with $2,000 in baseless fines. The breaking point came when Sophie cried after school. Dad, Mrs. Thompson's daughter said Patricia told everyone disabled kids lower property values, and that's why no one wants us here. That's a lie, Sophie. What if she's right? What if we're the problem? You're the best part of this place. Patricia's the problem, and we're going to stop her. I dove into public records, leveraging my 15 years of engineering expertise. Every road, boundary, and access path in Blue Haven was documented somewhere. I uncovered a gem. The main road, including the stretch by Patricia's house, was never deeded to the HOA. County records showed it under the original developer's trust, which dissolved in 2008 after bankruptcy. The 40-foot wide strip, now county-owned due to unpaid taxes, was slated for auction. Buried in environmental reports was an alternate route along the lake's eastern bank, designed for rerouting if needed. I spent days analyzing maps, zoning records, and surveys. The road was separate from residential lots, meaning its owner controlled access to much of the neighborhood, including Patricia's property. At a rainy courthouse auction, I bid on the undevelopable utility corridor. For $15,000, I owned the road, including the part fronting Patricia's home. The clerk was baffled. You know you bought a road? I know exactly what I'm doing. I called my old DOT boss, Tom. I need a favor. I'm launching a road redevelopment project in my neighborhood. Ethan, you moved to escape this stuff. It's personal. Someone's targeting Sophie because of her disability. Damn. What do you need? A consulting agreement for a private infrastructure plan with full DOT review. You're redesigning the whole traffic system? Exactly. My plan rerouted the main road along the lake's eastern edge, bypassing Patricia's stretch entirely. It was safer, more efficient, and better for emergencies. I submitted it to the city as a privately funded civic project. While it processed, I paid the bogus fines quietly, letting Patricia think she'd won. Meanwhile, I hired a private investigator. He uncovered Patricia's history, 3 prior HOA scandals involving intimidation of families with disabled children, each ending in her resignation and relocation. She was a serial tyrant. Worse, she'd funneled $50,000 in HOA funds to her husband Greg's failing construction firm through no-bid contracts, plus $38,000 to a sham landscaping company and $22,000 in administrative expenses for personal luxuries. Old Mr. Hayes, a retired surveyor, stopped by with original plot maps confirming my findings. You own the street she lives on, he said with a grin. What'll you do? I fix traffic problems. Patricia's about to become a very isolated one. City approval came through. DOT crews began surveying the new route. Patricia stormed over, furious. What are they doing on HOA land? It's my project on land I own. You only own your lot. I handed her the deed. I bought the road at auction. The developer never deeded it to the HOA. Her face paled. You can't block a community road. I'm not. I'm rerouting it for safety and efficiency. I showed her the blueprint, a new road skirting her property, rendering her stretch a private easement I controlled. You're isolating my home. I'm enhancing infrastructure. Your house is still accessible by my road. This is retaliation. It's logistics. Call it what you want. She shrieked. You think you're clever with your engineering degree and your dead wife's money? My blood froze. What did you say? You heard me. You're using her inheritance to bully us. Get off my property. Make me. I dialed 911. I need an officer. A trespasser's making threats. 2 cops arrived. Patricia ranted about illegal construction, but my permits checked out. They escorted her home as she screamed about lawsuits. The next day, survey markers lined the lake. Patricia learned the new road required an easement through her yard. That evening, she and Greg appeared at my door. Nathan, Greg began. Patricia wants to apologize for the parking issue. No, I don't, she snapped. What'll it take to stop this road nonsense? It's approved. Construction starts next month. What's your price? This isn't a vendetta. It's a civic project. $10,000. No. $20,000. $50,000 to leave the neighborhood. You want me to take $50,000 and move? Yes. Take your wheelchair-bound daughter and go somewhere suited for her. Greg looked horrified. I held up my phone, recording. You just admitted to disability discrimination. You can't record me. I can, and I did. Greg heard it too. Patricia filed a lawsuit, seeking an injunction to halt construction. My lawyer, Sarah Kim, a friend of my late wife, laughed. She's suing you for improving her neighborhood? She claims I'm cutting off her access. You're offering a better route. And this recording? It's a federal discrimination case. In court, Judge Margaret Ellis dismantled Patricia's case. Mr. Cole bought a road at auction and is building a new one to improve traffic. How is that a crime? It's retaliation for enforcing HOA rules, her lawyer stammered. Rules like fining a man $400 for parking slightly off during a move, or targeting his disabled daughter's wheelchair as clutter? Your Honor, Mrs. Hensley was upholding bylaws. She targeted a child with a disability. Motion denied. Case dismissed. Sarah played the recording. The judge's face hardened. This violates federal disability laws. I suggest a swift settlement. Construction began. Patricia's mornings were filled with machinery noise. She tried sabotaging the project. Daily inspector calls, all permits valid. A petition, 3 signatures. A hired security firm, they quit. And media claims of environmental damage, disproven by our reviews. Then came threatening notes on my truck. Your road will fail. You'll regret challenging me. Your broken child doesn't belong. The last one, accidents happen on job sites. I took it to Detective Laura Gomez. She's escalating. Consider a protective order. Will it stop her? It'll help when she crosses the line. Patricia's world unraveled. Mail, trash, and deliveries bypassed her street. Her insurance premiums spiked, and utility work tore up her lawn. Neighbors cheered the new road for better emergency access and views. Even Greg turned on her. She's planning to sabotage your equipment, he confessed. She's contacted demo crews and reported your address as fake to Sophie's school. I called Gomez. I'm pressing charges, harassment, stalking, and interfering with Sophie's education. An arrest warrant was issued. At 8 a.m., Gomez cuffed Patricia as she screamed about her rights. She spent the weekend in jail. Her arrest made headlines, and a petition to oust her as HOA president gained 60 signatures. At an emergency meeting, the clubhouse was packed. Patricia opened, claiming misinterpretations. Mrs. Lynn stood. You were arrested for stalking. It's false. Mr. Hayes, holding a binder, presented evidence, threatening notes, discriminatory citations, and secret board recordings. You targeted the Coles and others. Residents erupted, sharing their own stories of Patricia's tyranny. She snapped. If people can't meet standards, they should leave. The room froze. I stood. You harassed my daughter because of her wheelchair. You fined us unfairly, shamed us online, and tried to expel her from school. You're retaliating. I'm ensuring you can't hurt anyone else. Every hand voted her out, even Greg's. Hayes revealed an audit. $53,000 to Greg's firm, $38,000 to a fake landscaper, $22,000 for Patricia's spa trips and designer goods. The crowd roared. You used our money for handbags. I brought structure. Patricia screamed. You brought corruption, Lynn said, slamming the gavel. You're removed. Patricia stormed out, her clipboard hitting the floor. Her house went dark. A moving truck appeared, and she left without a word. A for sale sign sprouted, tagged with an orange sticker, community restored. At the next meeting, neighbors laughed, shared donuts, and let kids ride bikes freely. Sophie rolled up. She's really gone? Yeah, she's gone. Do people like her ever change? Maybe, I said. But that's not our fight. She built her empire on fear. We tore it down with truth and unity.